He's the one who gave our keeper the yellow card because he had the white shin guard stain on his black socks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the KSHSAA Soccer Complex and this evening's regional finals match between the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies and the Shawnee Mission East Lancers. Coaches and administration of both schools would like to remind players, parents, and fans to demonstrate the highest level of sportsmanship, refrain from cheering against the other school, and instead cheer in a positive manner for your own school. Also, please support the officials as they carry out their difficult jobs. Thank you, and let's have a great game this evening. Now the starters for tonight's match. First for the Huskies, goalkeeper number 0, Owen Malice. Number 4, Will Bancrum. Number 5, Charlie Router. Number 6, Chris Colley. Number 7, co-captain Drew Coble. Number 8, co-captain Dylan Colley. Number 10, co-captain Jackson Million. Number 13, Daniel Reed. Number 17, Ethan Knopf. Number 18, Sammy Brewer. And number 20, Ryan Masterson. The Huskies are coached by Brian Pollock. Now the starters for the Lancers. Goalkeeper, co-captain, number 1, Will Lowry. Number 2, Drew Parisi. Number 5, Hunter Cooper. Number 7, Simon Zimmerman. Number 9, Joe Vanderlaan. Number 10, co-captain T.J. LaBeer. Number 16, Peter Coring. Number 17, co-captain Caden Nicholson. Number 19, Sean Brooks. Number 20, Joda Marcial. And number 23, Jack Slaughter. Lancers are coached by Jamie Kelly. I'd like to remind everyone, the Shawnee School District and its facilities are non-smoking, and we now ask that everyone please rise and join in the singing of the national anthem.
goals in 3 minutes like we did last game. Yeah, can we ask Dolly, Dylan and Griffin Long to take in that goal?
Good evening, Lancers, and welcome to the live sports broadcast of the boys varsity soccer team facing off against Blue Valley Northwest at the Regionals Championship game. We just had kickoff, and immediately it goes back to Lowry. This is Lucia Barraza, joined with
Maggie Schutt.
Should be a very high-stakes, exciting game. Northwest is pressuring really high.
Yeah, it looks like they're wanting to get the ball from the defense and do a quick counter onto goal.
Yeah, we know this Blue Valley team is definitely aggressive on offense. In their last game, the semifinals, I believe they won 6-1. And so they're definitely a team that can score high and is strong on defense, or offense, excuse me. Looks like they play the safe ball back to their defense. Try to get it up to their forward, and it goes out of bounds. You know, talking to a Northwest parent before the game, they were just saying that you need to watch out for this team's back line. They have a really strong defensive line and a lot of players that play at a very high level at club outside of this season. So this is definitely a strong team, not to take them lightly, and the Lancers really are going to have to fight hard in this game.
Yeah, it looks like they're holding only 3 in the back, but with a deep midfielder, which is very interesting because usually high schoolers play with 4 in the back just to be safe. We'll see how that changes over the course of the game.
That could work to the advantage of the Lancers if they can figure out a way to get behind them, capitalize on that lack of coverage.
Yeah, definitely the space is on the outside because they don't have that extra player in the midfield or middle to cover for them. So if the Lancers can find the ball out wide, they'll definitely be able to attack that flank.
Definitely, they need to be looking on those outside passing lanes. Northwest plays chipped ball over to the defender. That's picked up by Sean Brooks. Looks over to Jack Slaughter. Tries to get it up to Drew Parisi. Cuts inside. Blue Valley tries to clear, but it's picked up by TJ LeBeer. Cannon Nicholson searching. And it's cleared by Blue Valley. Those were some pretty good passing sequences.
Yeah, you could see that the space was on the outside, but Lancers weren't able to find it because Jack Slaughter was in more on the inside, making that inside run, which kind of cut them off in the forward.
In the attack.
In the attack.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially seeing that pass to Drew Parisi earlier, he just wasn't able to get through.
Great through ball to Caden Nicholson. Whoa, called offsides. Spooky. Happy Halloween, guys. Hope you're all trick-or-treating or something. Great clear.
Cleared out into the stands by Peter Coring. Blue Valley Northwest has really come out in tow here. They have a pretty packed section.
Oh, yeah, with cheerleaders and everything.
Yeah. Looks like that's number 20, Ryan Masterson. It's going to be kicked out of bounds.
Switch the field.
You know, right now they're really keeping it on the left. Looks like they're going to try to switch here. Playing deep. East pressure's high. Northwest gets it out, plays it over to the right. It's blocked by Jack Slaughter.
The back of Jack Slaughter. Looks like Simon Zimmerman's staying pretty far back into our defense, which is unusual for a forward to do. Blue Valley could find the wide player pretty easily there, and that's where he should be. Interesting that he was staying so far back.
Yeah,
wonder if Kelly
Simon's
told him to do that.
Yeah, Simon's usually a pretty offensively aggressive player. He doesn't stand back too much. And it looked like the other two forwards were pressuring really high, so I'm not sure. Maybe Kelly is telling him to stay back a little bit.
Might have also been just a miscommunication through the team, which can't happen in a playoff game. Everyone needs to be on the same page.
For sure. I know we saw a couple miscommunication problems in the last game on Tuesday night. So hopefully they've worked those out. Quick throw in. Dupree flicks it over to Nicholson. It's a great pass. Back to Preezy, flicked up to Nicholson on the right. And he's on sides. And he gets a cross off, and it goes out of bounds.
I think he just was a little rushed. He didn't think he had that extra touch he could take, but he really did. He didn't notice that the defender wasn't putting as much pressure on him than he thought.
Yeah, he did have a lot of space there. He could have cut in and then gotten a good cross off. Goal kick. Northwest is on the attack. Yeah, the Lancers are staying really packed in on defense. And they're going to call a foul on that. It's going to be taken by Jackson Million. Jackson Million's a player to look out for in the midfield, as I've heard. So we'll see what he does tonight.
Great ball to the backside.
That was great placement on the far end. Can they keep it in? He gets around, gets a cross off. Picked up by Easton. A shot is taken, but it's over the top of the goal. Dangerous for the Lancers right there.
Yeah, East kind of looks asleep compared to this Blue Valley Northwest team. They're not as on their toes as they were against South. They had more of a fire under. They had more fire going against South.
Yeah, you're right. And we saw that in the last game. It took them a while to warm up. They didn't really come out until the second half. But you don't want to do that in a playoff game. You don't have the luxury of being able to take time to evaluate and get your strength later. You need it for the whole game.
Yeah, and getting the first goal in any game really sets the tone, but especially in a playoff game, if you can get the first goal and get the team that you're playing against in their sadness a little bit, then you can really take the game from there.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that Blue Valley scored within the first 2 minutes of their last game, I believe. So you definitely don't want them to score first in this game. It's going to cause them momentum.
Yeah, and they've already had 2 shots on goal compared to the Lancers, which have had 0. We're only 10 minutes into the game. It's kind of not great stats for the Lancers.
Yeah, and I think they're really pushing on defense here. They're really playing cautious, and we saw this in the game against South on Tuesday night. They're playing conservative, and I think in some ways it's smart, and in some ways it's also limiting them on offense. And I'm not sure since Northwest. Oh, great pass through up to Simon Zimmerman. He has numbers if he can get it in the box. Northwest wins it. It's back to Sean Brooks. Gets a shot off. It's going to go to the left. Nonetheless, good to get some shots on goal. Just to test them out, see where they're at.
You see there that the ball was worked through the midfield and passed out wide, and that's where the space is because of the 3 in the back. Their Lancers are able to find the space on the outside.
Definitely, they're not going to be able to drive through the middle. They're going to have to work the field, I think, a little bit more. Jack Slaughter on the left. Sliding tackle from Northwest. It's going to be a Lancer throw-in. It's back and forth. And it's going to be a Northwest throw. Still back and forth. The Lancers play a safe pass out to Coring. Back to Lowry, who's far out of the box. You know, they really use Lowry in the back line in the South game, but I really don't think they can use it in this game. Northwest is just pressing them way too hard. And you know, if Lowry had been beat on that one, it would have been a straight shoot to goal. So I'm not sure the Lancers will have that luxury in this game tonight.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if Lowry pushes up as far as he usually does, because he really likes to play.
Sean Brooks, and he gets a shot off. Let's see a replay of that. Well, if you didn't see, it was a cross in. Sean Brooks right in the middle of the box. Got a shot up, but was taken down. I think the Lancers were looking for a foul on that, but no foul was called.
Yeah.
It's going to be a goal kick.
A lot of the times when the goalie comes out and slides for that, like he did there, the player won't get the foul because the goalie is such a specialized position that they don't get fouls caught on them a lot of the time unless it's clear.
Of course, the goalie kind of owns the box territory. They have priority in the box, I guess. Especially in a playoff game, the ref's going to be needs to be sure about the calls that he's making, especially if it's going to result in a penalty kick. We have Zimmerman. He has TJ in the center, passes back to Coring. They're trying to pass through the back again. Great switch up to Parisi. It's going to be called out of bounds.
Great work by the Lancers there, opening up the field. I think just to be able to find those gaps, they need to work it a little bit faster across the back line in order to find the forward up or the midfield back in the middle.
Yeah, because they did have pressure on them on that one, but they were able to play quick enough to beat him. Northwest throw. Play a short one. It's won by the Lancers. It's rolling, and they're going to call the whistle on this. We're going to have the redo on the throw. '17 runs in. It's going along the outside. That's Ethan Noth. Played inside. It's number 4. Jodar Marcial clears it. Great ball through by Northwest, and it's a goal. I believe that was number 6, Chris Cole. I mean, that was a fantastic play from Northwest. They just slipped it right through the defense. I mean, there's nothing really more to say there. That was just beautiful soccer from Northwest.
Yeah, they were able to shift the defense of the Lancers over so that the pressure, 2 people were pressing 1 man, and that left a huge gap in the middle for Cole to run into, and just had to beat Will Lowry, which was a great patience by him, just taking a touch around him and slotting it into the back of the net.
Definitely not a good spot to be in for the Lancers. Northwest is still pressuring hard. Up to Simon Zimmerman. Northwest is going to clear that. And you can already tell the energy switch here with Northwest. They're just coming back 10 times harder. Sean Brooks looking for a gap. Doesn't find it. He's working across the field. Passes it over to Slaughter.
2 men.
Yeah. Slaughter gets a shot off. Oh, that was a great shot, but just went over the crossbar. You know, Slaughter's notorious for being able to juke around players on when he's in a tight situation on the sides, so on the wings.
Yeah, he's also great at shooting at odd angles that usually forwards can't get in.
Or as we just saw.
Yeah, just an unlucky skim of the bar.
We have Northwest on the left. The Lancers can't get in their heads here. They have to come back 10 times harder and work. They can't let themselves get defeated so early in the game. They're going to call a foul. Got Sean Brooks up to Slaughter. Man, Northwest really blocked off his options there. They're trying to play back to Lowry. He has to come far out of the box. And Lowry's going to try to clear it. The forwards are running on. Jack Slaughter chasing it down. And it's going to roll out of bounds.
Let's see what the Lancers do with this corner. This will be really important for them to get in the back of the net, or at least show Northwest that they can put a ball on frame with only 1 shot really on frame.
Of course, and I believe this is the first corner of the game, so we'll see what they can do. It's played low.
Oh. Shot high by Jack Slaughter, way over the goal, but a great chance nonetheless.
It looks like he couldn't just get his hips around it on that one, but good contact. Northwest is pressuring, and it's
dangerous ball played into the defense there.
That could have been very dangerous for the Lancers.
Yeah, luckily Northwest forwards weren't really on their toes to get that back, but the ball's played back into the Northwest.
It just shows
forwards.
Miscommunication can be deadly. We have number 8 getting through, and Lowry steps in. That was Dylan Cole there.
Quick ball out to Sean Brooks. The Lancers played to Simon Zimmerman. Tried to get him fast.
And both players go down.
Lancers got a foul out of that, which is good.
It's going to slow the game down here a little bit, allow the teams to breathe. It's been really high energy ever since the goal. Kaden Nicholson is going to take this. Play to the far side. Head over by Sean Brooks. Again by Sean Brooks. He gets over. Oh, and it was almost a goal.
Almost an own goal, actually.
That could have been bad for Northwest there. Looked like it was a header. They were trying to clear, and it went over the Northwest goalie's head. But I think he was able to get enough on it to push it out of bounds. But yeah, that could have been an on goal for Blue Valley.
Another corner for the Lancers with a substitution. So let's see if the new forwards can get something on frame here.
And, you know, just looking at the Northwest team, they have a lot of height. So they're going to have to fight for headers in the box. It's played high, and the Northwest goalie swoops up to grab it.
Lancer attack really put the defense under pressure there, and Northwest kind of broke down against it. They didn't know what to expect, but no outcome for the Lancers.
That can really throw you off on an on goal, so.
Yeah.
Oh. We have a sub in with Peter Corin coming out. I believe it's Simon Robinson coming in for him. With this energy, this fast pace, we've seen both teams make some mistakes. Nicholson running in. It's going to be blocked, but it's going to be a Lancer throw. And it looks like they're going to reverse it. It's going to be a Northwest throw.
There you go.
Quick pat throw into Sean Brooks. Through the legs, back to McGuire Hardin. Plays back to Lowry. Northwest immediately putting pressure to Hunter Cooper. Back to Lowry. Back to Jerome Marcial.
Northwest is putting a lot of pressure on Sean Brooks in the midfield, putting 2 players on him. But I don't think it's just him. I think it's just the midfield in general. They're really quick to pressure.
They get a cross off, headed out. But it's back to Northwest. They're trying to sneak one through. Hunter Cooper fighting for it. Gets it up to Drew Parisi. Tries to get it out to Zimmerman on the right, but Northwest is back at it. Pass through again. Number 4. And they are going to call offsides on that. That was an almost identical run there. That was crazy. Again, having a one-on-one with Lowry. And you know, now the Lancers have seen it twice. They got to know when to watch out for those runs, fill those gaps, because that was dangerous. And they're going to call a handball on Sean Brooks.
don't think the Lancers have really responded to Northwest high pressure the way they would intend to. They're not getting the ball off their foot fast enough, and they're looking for one person to do a lot of the work, especially in the midfield, which isn't going to go well because they're losing the ball in the midfield.
Yeah, I agree, and I think they're relying on Lowry way too much in the back line. I think it worked with South, but when you have this team like Northwest who are putting 2 forwards constantly on your back line, you just can't risk that. And I think they're going to have to learn to not rely on Lowry so much in the back and play quicker.
Corner now for Northwest, their first of the half.
See what they do here. Play to the center. It's bouncing around. Bounces off Cooper. And the Lancers get it out of the box. Northwest got some good contact there. It could have been a goal, but Hunter Cooper swooped in.
That was lucky.
Could have been a dangerous mistake. A fumble by Hunter Cooper and Lowry swooping in to try to save it and falling. Luckily, the Northwest forward fell as well. Again, it's like you can't let the high energy of the game get to you to where you're making those simple mistakes and allowing that pressure, that high pressure to get to your head, cause you to panic.
Yeah, it seems that's what the Lancers are doing, is they're panicking. You can really tell by their touches are off, and they're not finding the easy passes that they usually can.
Yeah, and I think Hunter, if you're in his shoes, he looked up and didn't have any feet to play to. And that's a scary feeling when you have no one behind you on defense.
Yeah. If a center back doesn't have someone to play to, that's not a good situation.
Exactly, and I think that's a signal that, if you're in the midfield, you got to be working around trying to make new passing lanes and opportunities to get your defender off your back enough to get a pass off. And that's just a teamwork thing. Direct ball played over. Looks like Lowry's on that one. And out of bounds. We do have Daniel Adele in and Byers Waldo up at the forward positions. So we'll see if they can add anything new to the offense.
Daniel Adele actually tried out with the team for defense and played defense for most of the year and then switched to forward past couple games. And he's been doing really well, actually.
Interesting. I know he almost had a goal Tuesday night's game.
Oh, yes.
So I'm sure he's eager to get a point on the board. They're on the right side. Both players go down. And they're going to call a corner here. Northwest fans are not happy. They wanted a foul called there, but again, when you're in the playoffs and you're in the position of the ref, you don't want to make those calls easily. You want to make sure it's a clear foul before you call something in the box.
It was a bit of a risky tackle, though, by Simon Robinson. He's definitely going to have to watch that next time.
For sure.
He wasn't straight on, and going from behind in any tackle is going to get you a card.
Exactly. You do not want to risk that in a playoff game.
Especially in the box.
Short throw. It's number 8, Dylan Cole. They're going to call a foul.
I think the ref just really wanted to make up for the last one that he missed. But that player, Dylan, beat 3 of East's players, and They were kind of just poking at the ball, which isn't a good sign. They got to get their feet moving.
Yeah, I think they're just still panicked. Their composure is completely thrown off, which is not a good sign. Jack Slaughter chasing it down. Number 7, Drew Coble gets through. And it's back up. And it's back and forth here. Northwest looking to switch the field. And they're going to call a foul on Northwest. Just looking at the field right now, you can see how much space there is on the outsides.
You can
It's
also
so
see
packed in the middle.
how high up Northwest's midfield is playing. They're really playing in a tight triangle, but it's working for them. But if the Lancers are able to find that gap behind them before the defenders, they'll be able to attack more.
Definitely. But as we've seen, Northwest defense is just getting everything out. Here, Lancers have a chance, and they're going to call a foul.
No big deal, just keep playing. It's a yellow card. Go, John. Go, go.
But you know, the Lancer team has speed in the forward line. And we've Northwest dribbling on the left. Number 10, Jackson Million.
You can also see how just like, there's a fight. There's a fight.
And a card is pulled.
Oh my gosh. Red card is pulled on number 10 from Blue Valley Northwest.
That's Jackson Million, one of the captains for the Northwest team, and one of their strongest players in the middle, from what I hear. That is not a player they want to lose. You don't want to lose any players in the playoffs, but that is going to be a hit for the Northwest team.
That means that Northwest is going to be playing a man down. Oh my gosh, and the cheerleaders decided this would be a great time to do a cheer. Anyway, sorry. They're going to be down a man the whole game, which is a real loss for Northwest. Let's see if East can capitalize on that. I'm surprised that the ref pulled that red card.
That was very...
It was both teams. It was not just number 10. Like, no bias. It was both teams.
And he may have wanted to send a signal
Wow.
with that one.
And if Northwest moves on, he can't play in the next game either.
Yeah, that is a huge hit for this Northwest team. Just this game and in the future if they move on. But a great opportunity for the Lancers.
Wow.
To maybe capitalize on that hole in their lineup.
I am just shocked.
Usually the ref will pull a yellow as a warning.
I don't
They
think
usually
he
do
can.
not go straight for the red unless it's...
I'm interested to see how Northwest is going to react to this on the field.
For sure. You know, losing a captain is big,
Yeah.
just for morale.
Yellow.
A yellow card was given to Coach Kelly or Coach Williams. I don't know which. But wasn't given to a player, which is interesting.
It looks like this ref is not messing around. It's going to be...
You could kind of tell from the beginning of the game, though, right off the bat, he called like 4 or 5 fouls on East that were not easy, like they were easy fouls. Pretty soft, I would say.
Yeah, I think, you know, and just seeing these first 2 playoff games. The refs aren't going to mess around in the playoffs. They're going to, sounds like they're going to call everything that they see, and so both teams need to learn and react. Be careful.
Well, this is interesting. They gave the red card to Northwest, but the free, oh, nope, it's just a throw-in. But the free kick to Northwest, that doesn't seem
interesting.
Right? Kind of a wasted opportunity there for Blue Valley Northwest because they just kicked the ball out, it looked like.
Yeah, and this may throw off their mojo, especially in their mid, since they've been playing such a packed midfield and center mid lineup. This could really throw them off. East is coming right back at it, playing some strong offense. Caden Nicholson dribbling. He's looking for a pass place to Slaughter. To Simon Robinson.
Northwest is also playing a pretty high line, which is a smart idea, but it's like hard for the Lancers to get around that because they're used to playing against a deep defense.
Yeah, for sure, and maybe making them tentative to not be called offsides. I'm not sure if that's Northwest's tactic for that, but it's definitely preventing them on offense. Simon Robinson tries to clear. Over to Don Fishback. It's Will Vackram. Northwest pushing the left side. They get a cross off.
Miscommunication there from the Lancers.
Man, that could have turned bad as well. Put Lowry in a bad position because he couldn't pick up the ball. Yeah, I just don't think we've been seeing this team click tonight. There's been lots of miscommunication. And I think they're just getting in their heads. I think Northwest pressure and early goal scoring has really made them panic. So I think going into the second half, they have to calm down and just play smart and play as a team.
I agree. Oh, interesting. That almost looked like it was against Sean Brooks.
To Hunter Cooper. And the ref blew the whistle. It's a Lancer kick.
You know, I don't think these Northwest parents are helping their team get back into it because they're being quite mouthy to the ref, which won't be good for their team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, and it looks like someone has gone down. It's hard to see from where we're at.
Oh, it looks like Drew Parisi. He's
He's
not a good
in
player to lose for the Lancers. Looks like maybe he just cramped up a little bit or something.
You know, playing in this cold weather, that can be common, or he might have hurt his ankle, but he's going to come out for a minute.
Subbed in is Byers Waldo.
Yeah, Drew Parisi is definitely a spark in the forward line. You don't want to lose him. Yeah, it's about 41 degrees out here. So it might be a little bit warmer from Tuesday night's game, but it's still pretty windy and cold. So
don't know what happened there. This ref is making some interesting calls.
Up to Slaughter.
Wow,
Tries to play
Northwest.
direct, and it gets through over to Zimmerman. Go to Zimmerman. He has a runner on the outside. He gets a shot off.
Ooh, good.
It almost slips through. Oh, and it scored!
That was a great follow by, I think,
It's hard to tell from here.
I don't know who scored, but I think it might have been Byers-Waldo off of Simon Zimmerman's cross.
Yeah, that was just great contact from Simon Zimmerman. He chose not to continue on the outside, and he cut inside. Got a shot off, and it was the Northwest goalie actually picked up on it, but it slipped through. And we think it's Byers-Waldo who is there to pick it up. That was just great offense from the Lancers, just staying in the box and being there to pick up off of his kick. And Northwest is back at it. Chris Cole on the left side.
Northwest has really been able to get around our players using their skill. They're very tactical in how they play, not just passing the ball around, but using foot skills.
Yeah, they have great composure and they have great foot skills.
They're also not afraid to take players one-on-one, which is a good thing, but can also lead to not passing, which is also maybe not a good thing.
For sure. Yeah, we've seen more dramatic switches across the field for Northwest compared to the Lancers' more conservative, short pass style of switching. So it's definitely been interesting. It's like TJ LeBeer to Nicholson. Passes back to McGuire Harding.
Strong pressure there and knocking McGuire off his feet, and Northwest has the ball again.
Back out to Ethan Knopf. Plays back to the Northwest defense. Northwest passing around. Sean Brooks picks it up. Quick switch to TJ LeBeer. Lancers are on the attack, up to Slaughter.
A lot of numbers upfield for them to find. Oh,
Slips past, and it's going to get to Zimmerman. Plays it back over her head.
looking for the head of Byers-Waldo, which he found, but not a great header by him.
It was a good idea nonetheless. He could have gone onto his right side and gotten a shot off, but a good idea to try to get behind the Northwest defense.
Yeah, that was smart.
We have less than 3 minutes left in the half. Northwest, it gets through, but Lowry's going to call him off and pick it up. Jack Slaughter up to Byers-Waldo. Looks like East has some newfound energy after scoring.
For sure. As half comes, what do you think Kelly's going to be telling his team, Lucia?
You know, I think they need to really focus on the details. I think they've had a couple miscommunication problems and just errors on small things like your first touch and just keeping the ball at your feet. So I think working on that and also working to get out of the defensive line
Go help him!
and not rely on Lowry as well will be brought up.
Wow, I'm surprised the ref called that. That was an all-ball tackle by TJ LeBeer. But unlucky foul called right at the end of the half, and a good place for Northwest. We'll see what they'll do with this ball.
Yeah, they could play this one anyway, really.
probably even shoot from this distance, but I doubt they'll do that. They'll probably try to put it on the head of one of their super tall defenders.
And they actually come short.
Yeah. Played
Not
back
sure
though.
that's what they wanted to do.
Bayerswalde, who finds Simon Zimmerman on the wide. Long ball to Jack Slaughter. Great
He's
choice.
wide open. But now Northwest is closed in on defense. And it gets through to Sean Brooks.
He's called offsides.
And he's called offsides.
Great save by the goalie though there.
Yeah, nonetheless, Sean Brooks was getting the right idea.
That was great work by the Lancers. They found open people, and that counterattack was super dangerous because all of Northwest's defense goes up into the corners and free kicks.
And it kind of showed a panic on Northwest side. I mean, they missed the clear. So I think Northwest will also be working on that going into the second half.
Another foul called on East.
Players are rushing. They get a shot off. And it's a goal for Northwest.
That was smart of them to take that free kick fast. They knew that they could capitalize on the Lancers not being ready, and 2 players were open on the backside.
Yeah, and that's just unfortunate going right into the second half, down a goal for the Lancers. But yeah, Northwest really capitalized off of that and took them by storm before they could really react and set up.
This
So
will
great work by the Northwest on that one.
This will definitely change Kelly's halftime talk to the boys.
I think so, because then they're coming into the second half down a point, having to work 2 times harder, whereas they could have gone in with an almost 0-0 score mindset. So I think they'll definitely have to work on pushing on offense more in the second half to come back from this. Nicholson.
Long shot taken.
The boys going to pick that up to end this first half of the boys varsity soccer game against Blue Valley Northwest in the Regionals Championship game. We will be right back with you.
It might be down here.
screwed up, so he had to do something.
But I mean, when we got the foul, we kicked from the foul.
Yeah, but he kicked it. He was kicking it.
Our man was kicking
Yes,
it.
Jackson was kicking the guy on the ground. If you throw a punch,
I didn't see much of a kick there. I saw him get off me, quit kicking me, kind of thing. I didn't see. Actually, I saw him withstand himself and not respond more than anything. If they're gonna keep doing that, you have to do something. It's because the ref's not calling anything, and so then you get that. It's not a freaking red card.
Like we were all saying, if it would have started being called correctly.
their goal.
I hope your husband didn't walk all the way around the bathroom. This way he did. I know. I'm hoping the boys are tough. Just go out in 30 seconds, something back in. I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping the boys told.
How about you that picture?
basically what you want to do. So you're there.
Let's go, Husky!
Yeah, you should be live now, I think. So just good luck. We're all counting on you.
And we're back for the second half of the Lancer boys soccer game. Woohoo! Happy Halloween, everybody! It's a fantastic Thursday evening. Nice, nippy 42 degrees outside. The score is currently 2-1 in favor of Blue Valley Northwest. Interesting start here for the Lancers. They had Lowry as kind of a fifth defender there, which I don't see as a good thing for the Lancers. He should stay in his goal box, but that's just me personally. So,
Yeah,
Lucia, what do you think?
We were talking in the first half about how the Lancers have really been playing Lowry, I think, too much, simply because Northwest has really come out strong and put a lot of pressure on their back line. And it's just too dangerous. When you have two really fast, skilled forwards coming at you, and you're far out of your box as a goalie, that is not a good sign if you have the ball. And so I think hopefully going into this second half, the Lancers will be able to play quicker off their feet in the back line, and maybe not have to use Lowry as much and put too much pressure on him.
Yeah, also being down 1 goal, the Lancers need to kind of step up their game in the attack, which they'll be able to do because Northwest is actually down a player from a red card given in the first half.
Exactly, and that player, which was Jackson Million, who's a captain on Northwest, is in their mid lineup, and we've been talking about how packed their center mid was, and so I think with Million on the bench, this could open up the middle part of the field for the Lancers.
Yeah. And it's a corner given to the Lancers. Taken by Caden Nicholson, who's taken pretty much all of the Lancers' free kicks this game and corners. Great ball, too, to the back post.
And the goalie comes out far, and they get a shot, but it's going to be cleared by Northwest. Man, the Blue Valley Northwest goalie really came out far to get that ball, but it slipped, and the Lancers got a shot off.
Yeah, he's made some interesting choices today, I think, for a goalie. But, I mean, it's worked in the advantage of Northwest.
For sure, I think we've seen him play pretty far out of the box. I think he's just been steps out farther than most goalies would.
Lancers trying to find feet in the midfield. Doing a good job of switching the ball, which is what they need to do to find the gaps. Oh, they actually found a gap to Drew Parisi, the forward, but an unlucky touch by him puts the ball out wide, or out of bounds.
Let's see if the Lancers can play this half a little bit calmer, have some more composure on the ball. I know they're feeling a little bit panicked in the first half, but now I think since they've seen their style of play, they can maybe adjust and play a little bit calmer on the ball. We're just taking a quick break for someone to tie their shoe.
That's so embarrassing when you have to tie your shoe on the field, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, as a player, it's
so awkward because everyone's just staring at you, waiting for you to get up. Okay, back to the game.
Peter Coring, back to Hunter Cooper.
Quick pressure by number 6 on Northwest.
Back to Lowry. That's Martial. Takes his space. It's a long clear up to Drew Parisi. And it gets over the defender. But Northwest is going to gain it back.
And nope, not a handball. Oh, nice tackle by. Oh, well, free kick for the Lancers.
It looks like it's a foul call on Northwest. They're going to push up really high. And it's on the right side.
That was a quick free kick taken by the Lancers. Finding Schutt. Oh, what? Sorry.
And it's a goal.
And we have a penalty kick.
Woo! This is exciting, folks.
Personally, I thought that should have happened sooner in that play. Sean Brooks given quite the shove off the ball, but he got it in the end. And he's the one taking the PK.
This is big. This could even out the score for the Lancers.
Oh my gosh, I'm nervous.
This is huge. I'm sure both teams are really freaking out right now, but it looks like Sean Brooks is going to take it. Here he goes. And it's blocked! Oh! And it goes over!
Great block by the goalie.
And it was a great read from the Northwest goalie.
Great
Missed
second
opportunity for East.
He even tried to get that second ball, but I think he got too confident and he didn't lean over the ball and put it in the back of the net.
No,
Which is unfortunate.
you gotta stay calm, even if you miss that PK and it's blocked. He had the opportunity to swoop in and replace it, but just went right over the goal.
See if the Lancers can get something again. Hopefully Sean Brooks doesn't get too much in his head, which it doesn't seem like he is, because he just played a fantastic ball out wide to Jack Slaughter.
And, you know, it was great contact on that shot, but Northwest read it.
We gotta be careful there. Sean Brooks almost getting a card for taking the goalie down.
Yeah, like we've been saying, goalie has priority in the box, and once he's grabbed the ball, you can't keep attacking and trying to win it back. Just gotta be careful. It's played high over the back of Joe Vanderlyn, who heads it. It's off of Northwest for a Lancer throw. Back to Hunter Cooper, plays back to Lowry. Plays back to Cooper.
Go get it.
He's trying to get it up.
Good look there, just not a run from the Lancers to get that ball into the attack.
Yeah, it looks like they've been playing more direct in
Yeah,
the second half.
I bet Kelly told them to be more direct with their balls, try to find the number 9, Drew Parisi.
Yeah, and I think that might
To
be
get
a
the
good
attack.
tactic to try. I mean, we've seen the Northwest defense shut down our passing lanes through, and I think our forward lineup has the speed to be able to play direct if we can get it over.
Yeah, and it's definitely beating their midfield, which is their strength, and their defense is also their strength, but playing those quick passes up has been working for the Lancers.
And it puts Northwest on the run, which can wear you out and make you more panicked as well. Another high punt from Northwest. And they're going to call a handball. Unfortunate there. Didn't look flagrant, but nonetheless, I did think the ball bounced up and hit. I think it was Joe Vanderlyn's hand.
This is a good spot for Northwest to take a free kick. We saw one at this spot earlier in the first half, and it was actually blocked by the Lancers, so we'll see if they can put a better ball in.
Yeah, and it looks like they haven't pushed up that much. They only have 4 players on the attack, which is odd.
They probably recognize that East is good on the counter.
Yeah, it looks like the energy has switched, with Northwest playing a little bit more conservative on that one.
I mean, being up a goal, they have the ability to play more conservative.
For sure, they want to secure their lead. They don't have to work harder to get a goal. They can sit on their lead and try to play more cautiously, more defensively.
Their forward coming back on that one. Good call by him, too. just hit Schutt in the wrong place to make him go down.
It's like Sean Brooks.
Walking it off though.
It's like he might have gotten kicked in the side.
Our defense really needs to stop dilly-dallying with the ball and just play it where they need to play it.
Exactly. Northwest knows that play. They know that we cross across the back line a lot. Shot taken. He's going to go over the top. Looks like that was Chris Colley.
Great turn by Chris to get that shot off.
Yeah, and especially because Lowry has the sun in his face in a way.
Yeah.
It's worth it to try those long kicks.
Short pass to Peter Coring. Try to get the midfielders to come back to the ball. It worked. Nice
Great
long
ball over the top.
Too direct.
Goalie's out
though.
far, but he's going to clear it.
We need to make sure that we're playing those balls on a diagonal so that the goalie can't get to them that fast.
Yeah, trying to run it down into the corner instead of getting it into the position where the goalie could come in.
Mm-hmm.
It's played high. And the goalie came out, but he didn't get it. And it's going to be cleared.
Looks like the Lancers were looking for more of a foul there than a chance on goal, which really should not be their mindset right now.
No, and especially when the goalie is coming out so far. If they can crowd the box and get a ball through, get a foot on it, I mean, the goal is almost undefended.
Drew Parisi with the throw is an amazing long throw to get them into the box. What? Looks like a foul was called on someone from East. Not a smart place to foul when you had a chance on goal.
We're going to have a goal kick.
Must have been a foul. It was offside though, throw-in. Very rare call.
There's no such thing.
Exactly, but hey.
Yeah.
Great header by Sean Brooks in midfield. Clear it to TJ LeBeer.
Miscommunication. Picked up by Northwest. Marcial clears it.
Great turn by Simon Zimmerman to tack up to the flanks.
Trying to play through.
You just can't seem to find those through balls. Northwest has been doing a fantastic job blocking off the gaps that we're trying to find.
They're just, yeah. I mean, and we saw earlier they have a weird, unique, or I guess unique defensive line where they have about 3 back, but they have a floater mid.
This game's kind of gotten scrappy in the second half.
Yeah, I agree. Especially though, I don't know if that's uncommon since it's a playoff game. Just the stakes are so high. Whoever wins goes on, and whoever loses, that's the end.
True.
And this is a huge focus for these teams for the whole season, trying to get to state. It's what their whole season can amount to. So I'm sure the stakes are very high tonight. So causing some adrenaline rushes maybe that making this a very high energy game. TJ LeBeer searching, plays back to Hunter Cooper to open it up. Goes out to Vanderland on the left.
We need to have some more movement on the front line from Drew Parisi. He's doing a good job, but outside wingers need to be.
Great cross in by Nicholson. They have Drew Parisi on the outside. He can't get around it to shoot.
Trying to find the foul there, but definitely was not a foul.
That was a great look from Nicholson. Driving through the defense and getting a cross off. we've said before, Nicholson really has a striker's mindset. And I think he's such an asset in the offense once he gets the opportunity to get up.
Missed opportunity there for the free kick. Just another, I think, miscommunication from the Lancers. They really need to get their talking up or be on their toes for anything because something isn't quite clicking with them.
Yeah, usually this team does click pretty well, which is surprising. Throw in. Hunter Cooper flicks it behind him. Nicholson with the header. Great flick over to Slaughter. It's on the left. There's 2 on him, but it's going to go to the outside of the goal.
Got a corner out of it, though. Strong play by him with 2 players on. He still got a shot off. Quite a fantastic work by him.
That was a great flick onto Slaughter, too. We have a cross or corner. Header. It's going to go to the goalie.
Got to get a little bit more strength on those headers. Just redirect the ball, really. No need to like put any power against it, but something's not clicking. I can't.
Wow. Tries to play back to Lowry.
In the air, not a great ball.
Again, unneeded stress on Lowry, especially because it wasn't a pass on the ground. Very dangerous. TJ LeBeer, Joe Vanderlyn, and a tackle by Northwest.
Quick throw by Jackson.
Flick, and it's not going to connect right and go out of bounds. The score is still 2-1. Blue Valley Northwest in the lead. It's going to be a Northwest throw. Looks like Northwest is pushing up for now. And they're going to call it offside.
Back, Charlie, come on.
Hunter Cooper with the kick. Great pass to Nicholson. The TJ has a man coming on his back. And then back to Cooper. Tries to play to Lowry, who wasn't there. Again, they cannot rely on Lowry in the back. It is such a dangerous play when you're playing a team like Northwest.
Great block by Michael Veneman there to not let the Northwest ball go into the box.
Yeah, and they're still working the field. Going over to Charlie Rotter. Plays Dylan Colley. Picked up by Joe Vanderlyn. Caden Nicholson tries to play direct, but the Northwest goalie is far out, and he's going to pick that one up.
That was, I personally think that was not the best choice for Nicholson to make because he had so much space in front of him to take, but instead he chose to play a ball right to the goalie.
Absolutely, I think. And Nicholson's such a good
header.
dribbler. He has such skill. He can drive the middle.
Yeah.
And so I think,
Pull a
especially with
out.
Jackson Million out of the center, he had the space. So maybe it wasn't the right call there, but I could see where he was going.
Especially if Kelly told them at half to play more direct.
Yeah, and he did have 2 runners, one on the right and one on the left. TJ cuts back.
Really taking our time with the ball, which is good, but also bad because it slows the game down a little bit.
It's going to go out of bounds.
Oh, unlucky. Lancers looking to play fast there to keep their momentum up, but substitution called.
I think they've really struggled to shake the Northwest defenders off. They're really marking tight, making it hard for the forwards to get free for a pass. So sometimes maybe not doing spin moves, but just trying to run back and forth, move around, switch positions to try to shake the defenders enough to get an open pass. Because I think when you're in the position of Kaden Nicholson on these past 2 plays, he just doesn't know where to play because they're marked. So puts you in a tough position. It's a corner.
Well, it's a free kick, actually.
Or a free kick, excuse me. It's cleared.
Unlucky. Northwest fans getting very frustrated because Lancers got a redo on their free kick.
It's going to be a foul on the Lancers, I think. It's going to be taken by Drew Coble. Driven ball to Dylan Colley. No, Chris Colley. The 2 brothers on the team.
Our midfield really has to be smart now to stop following in these dangerous positions, especially because Northwest can play these long balls into the box. East needs to calm down a little bit.
Absolutely, especially when they know that this ref is calling everything. Header, it's picked up by Lowry. That could have been dangerous. Great contact there from Northwest.
Very dangerous play by Northwest. Lancers need to recognize that and not let them foul.
And not foul the Northwest players.
Yeah.
Up to Simon Robinson. He has Parisi up top. You have a substitution.
Looks like some fresh legs in the forward and midfield.
Looks like TJ LeBeer is back on the field, and Byers Waldo is also up top. Jack Slaughter plays a lofted ball over to Simon Zimmerman. We're still trying to keep it in, but it's going to be a Northwest throw.
Come on, Huskies, let's go.
It's going to be Northwest throw again. And it looks like both teams are taking their time here, trying to catch their breath. And you know, in playoff games, endurance is such a big factor.
Northwest also might be using that throw into their advantage, kind of wasting some time, taking time off the clock, so East doesn't have a chance to come back.
Absolutely, they have the luxury of having a lead. 2-1 lead.
These Northwest parents are really getting involved. But both teams' parents are getting involved. I wouldn't say it's just Northwest.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been able to hear this SME student section from over here as well. Both schools have definitely come out to support their teams. Northwest throwing. It's Dylan Colley. It's going to be a sub-in. we got 16 minutes left in the game.
Lancers need to take every chance they get to attack. Not waste any opportunity to try to put something on goal.
Absolutely. Any chance they have on goal, they have to make a good shot, and they can't let these, they can't keep fouling like this. They have to play smart on defense because they're giving up free kicks to Northwest.
That's for 10, bro. Second ball. That's for 10. Second ball, Will.
Dylan Colley plays it in. It actually curves towards the top of the box. It's back and forth. TJ LeBeer. Quick switch over to Simon Robinson.
Fast pressure by Northwest, though. Yeah, trying to win the ball back. Bad foul there. Beats up and everything on that slide.
But you know, it was refreshing to see the Lancers quickly switch.
Looks like they're going to do it again, hopefully. Worked to their advantage last time.
It's going to be picked up by Northwest.
I think they just need to find that. They need to find one more pass when they're working it through the center, because then Northwest will be shifted all the way out to the line, and then our center forward, Byers-Waldo, will be able to work through the line and get the ball in the middle of it.
Yeah, I think they're just forcing it too much. They're
definitely
trying to drive it up to their forwards, but Northwest, we know this, they're shutting us down. And the Lancers are so great at making quick passes, 1-2 passes, and we just haven't seen that so far. There's not a lot of support for the player with the ball. Whenever the player gets the ball, it looks like everyone scatters around them instead of working to help him and get a pass.
Yeah, they're not really moving off the ball like they usually do.
Exactly.
There is movement, but not in the right places where they need it.
Absolutely. Picked up by Charlie Rotter on the right side. He's got a number on in the center. The Lancers clear. Picked up again by Northwest by Will Venkram, who's driving. And he's going to go down, and they're going to call a foul.
Got a couple of Northwest players on the ground right now.
Yeah, it looks like number 5, Charlie Rotter, on the defense is just hanging out. Oh, he's back up.
Just catching his breath, taking a little break.
This is a great opportunity for Northwest, but the Lancers have to mark tight. This is honestly going to be a big play for Lowry as well.
Great work by him to get his wall set and prepared pretty fast. But it looks like only 2 players are attacking this on the Northwest side, probably because their coach wants more players back in case of that counter, which is a good read.
Definitely
great shot, though.
Goes right to the left.
Wow.
Great contact.
Barely outside that post.
Both teams getting set. And playing easy pass to Hunter Cooper. Immediately has pressure. Again, back to Lowry. Plays it wide.
Great clear by Hunter Cooper, trying to find Drew Parisi on the forward line.
Flick up by Northwest, trapped by TJ LeBeer, who loses it. It's Will Venkram on the ball. He's dribbling. Tries to cut it back. Miscommunication there, picked up by Nicholson. He goes down. It's bouncing. Can they get a clear? No, and it's a shot, and it's saved by Lowry.
Great shot. There was even a Lancer
Great shot
player
there.
hit off of it. Good read by Lowry, though.
I mean, that was such a quick switch by Dylan Colley. I mean, his body was totally facing the left side of the field, and he just switched it right on his left foot. Great shot. Miscommunication there. Jack Slaughter.
It was a smart foul by Jack, honestly. On their half, they had momentum. It could have gone forward. Not a bad foul. Also shows he's not afraid to foul someone.
Both teams pretty scattered here. We'll see where they go. It's up to Dylan Colley. He gets around, gets a cross off, and they had a player crashing, but Jodar Marcial blocks it.
Wow.
And it goes out of bounds. That was a great look there from Northwest, but great job by Jodar Marcial swooping in and clearing it, getting in front of the Northwest player.
Corner for Northwest. Another dangerous position for the Lancers to be in right now. Oh, number 5 stretching. The one who was down earlier. That must have been it. Might have had a cramp or something.
Also a good way to shave down the minutes.
Yeah. Oh, the ref's making him go out now.
And the ref's not happy about that one. So that's Charlie Rotter off the field.
He does look like he's limping a little bit, though. Maybe a smart move by him.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes a couple seconds off, which can help you when you have that lead.
Northwest is putting more players in the box on this corner, though, except just their 2 on that free kick.
It's headed out. In the corner, quick pass. Looks like that's Sam Stetcher working the corner. And even just watching them in warm-ups today, you could tell Northwest is so comfortable in tight spots to get passes together. And it looked like Lowry was even thrown off by that shot. It's out of bounds. It's going to be a corner for Northwest.
Feels like 35 degrees out there. These boys are pushing through, though.
Lowry with the save. Kenny Nicholson. And he doesn't get it. And they're going to call a foul. Man, the Lancers really have to be careful about fouling so far into their defensive territory. Number 8. It's a block by Hunter Cooper. He goes down.
And the yellow card was given to number 8. That means he has to go off the field right now.
And that's Dylan Colley.
Another captain.
A big sacrifice from Hunter Cooper to block that shot. It looks like he might have hurt his back.
Northwest captains are getting the cards a lot today. Setting an interesting example for their team. But
yeah, that's not a player you want to lose either. Dylan Colley's been driving force in their offense. So
number 5 is back on the field from his stretching break, though. That is what matters.
That's number 5 right there.
Looks like a corner for the Lancers.
This is huge right here. They need to capitalize off of this. They've been really struggling to get into this territory on offense. They need to use it to their advantage.
Fast corner taken. Oh.
It's actually played pretty towards the top of the box.
corners. And another corner. Short. Oh.
Bounces off the goalie's hands. Can they get a foot? It's bouncing around. It keeps. Getting it over the shot.
Man, that was so close.
Back and forth. Great shot by Kaden Nicholson. It bends. Great block from the Northwest goalie.
Unfortunate turn for the Lancers, though.
Have us on the edge of our seats there, folks. There's Lowry. Again, like I've been saying, Nicholson, striker mentality. He's so powerful up top. Let's see if they can switch quickly here. And again, Northwest is just closing in so tight, blocking our passes.
Sean Brooks to
Gets
find
through.
Simon.
Simon gets a cross off. It bounces out. Can they get a foot?
Oh,
here's Sean Brooks. Cuts inside. He goes down and flips up.
He just couldn't find it underneath his feet. This is so frustrating.
It's so close.
Ball to Simon Zimmerman on the outside, though.
Oh, crossing, but there's no one there. And we were finally able to get it through the defense with that play.
And Northwest has a player down. Oh, but of course the ref thinks it's a great idea to call a time. This player is being very strategic by going down, totally ruining the Lancers' momentum. Yeah, he's a smart player. He's probably fine, hopefully. I mean, don't wanna just make assumptions, but we're very frustrated on this end.
Looks like there's a player down for Northwest. This is a quick break. Players are going back to their coaches. This might be good for Kelly to give some pep talks, let the players calm down, take a breather, and readjust, as they only have 7 minutes left in this game to bring it back. Looks like the player down is Ryan Masterson from Northwest.
We got Dakota on the field checking him out. Shout out to Dakota. She's a great gal.
And you know, there's only 7 minutes left, but at least coming from playing under Kelly on the girls' side, I know that in practice it's not uncommon to practice situations like this and work with where you have two teams and one team is up by 1 and one team is down and you have 5 minutes left in the game. So they're used to practicing with this mentality, and I think if they can really get the drive going, they can turn this game around. But it all depends on where their mindset is, where it is right now.
Is the ref doing a drop ball? Interesting choice, because it was in our possession. But you know what?
Ryan Masterson has been helped off the field. Let's see what the ref does here. Drop ball. Northwest plays back to Hunter Cooper.
Okay. That was fair.
Start the clock! Clock!
Long ball by Jonah Marcial onto Kaden Nicholson's foot.
Great turn by Nicholson.
Finding Simon out wide.
Cross. It goes back towards the top of the box.
Lancers need to make sure someone's holding that top of the box if the ball does go there, because a couple of times it's gone there, but no one's been there because they're all making runs into the front post.
And, you know, Nicholson was out wide on that one, I think. But that's usually where you want your center mid to drop in and cover that top of the box place, because you never know if the ball pops out even from the center. They're right there to swoop in and take a shot, but it looks like no one was in that position on that one.
Drew Parisi getting ready to throw the ball in long.
Huge opportunity here. See what they can do.
Great ball.
Run in. Header. It's in there. Can they get a foot? Oh, goal!
It's a goal by Jonah. Mercy. Oh, wow. Nope. Sean Brooks. My bad.
It's hard to see from where we're at, but that was a goal from the Lancers.
Wow.
And it's tied 2-2.
No, was that?
We're going to confirm who that was. It was hard to see from our angle.
I think it was Joe. Wow, yay. I think that might be his first goal of the entire season.
Joe usually plays in the back, so that's definitely a big moment. Nonetheless, that's a great finish. And it's all tied up. Like I said, the Lancers can turn this game around.
6 minutes. Woo! Sorry. I'm ready.
Great flick.
Northwest really attacking with a strong force, wanting to get that goal back. Lancers need to focus on defense. But
absolutely, and you know, Northwest really put all their effort into defense this whole half, so this completely changes their strategy.
Great
Big
win.
tackle there. Jack Slaughter goes down.
Ball into the box, blocked by Hunter Cooper. He's got to be careful there with those balls because his hands can go super close. Yeah. Great shot.
And both teams have to play quick.
This is very intense. Playoff games, last 5 minutes and you're tied. You just want to,
I mean, everything is at stake here.
Yeah, after this, if it's tied at the end, they'll have to go into overtime. And then even after that, PKs. In overtime, after you've played a whole game, it's exhausting.
Yeah, you do not want to be in that position. And you do not want it to get to PKs. That's always a tough way to decide a game. Ball's high. It's Dylan Colley on this. He has 2 on him. It's going to bounce off Hunter Cooper for Northwest throw.
Great footwork by him, though.
Charlie Rotter with the throw. Again, Lancers have to watch fouling here. Play clean defense.
Also have to watch those through runs.
Absolutely, like this one right here, he got behind.
Oh, long ball, though, over the goal.
Good look, though, to number 3, Sam Stetcher, who picks it up.
Northwest is
cut in.
Really good at moving the ball around the box.
Absolutely, and you saw that great footwork there. They're just so comfortable dribbling and working the field.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, in tight spaces, they're very strong. With a couple men on them, they can get it out.
Absolutely, and you know the Lancers have been marking tight, but they're just able to work around them.
Great flick there. 2 great flicks. Oh, but unlucky.
By Northwest. Chest ball over to Dylan Colley. He has a run behind. Hunter Cooper swoops in. Great clean tackle there. Jack Slaughter putting pressure. Can he win it? It's another slide tackle from Charlie Rotter.
Great pressure there by Jack Slaughter. Lancers just need to make sure that they're pressuring with him. If one person goes, the entire team has to step up.
Absolutely, and you know, we've seen this Northwest goalie does come out far.
Oh, getting a little bit
of
tangle there. Lancer midfield really needs to make sure that they're getting that ball off their foot fast.
better communication there, you could tell. Working the back line up to Slaughter. It's back and forth. Picked up by Sean Brooks. Great pass back to Nicholson, who's wide open. Can he take his space?
2 people quickly mark up on Caden.
They play a great direct pass over to Dylan Colley. He's on the right side. He has one player in the box. He's got actually 3 now.
Great win by Hunter Cooper.
Yeah, and great clear up to TJ. Tries to get it through. Very physical, and they're going to call a foul.
Ooh, looks like we're having some chatting between the players. That's always dangerous. That's how one of their players got a red card in the first half.
Absolutely, we don't want to mess with that this late in the game. Nicholson taking his space, plays through to Jabrizi, can he get a foot? And he doesn't.
That was
great
good.
timing from the goalie. But
all right.
Great look by Nicholson through.
Lancers need to be working back, though. We can't have like one shot and then no one working back. There's this huge gap in the middle where we need our forwards to be getting back and closing so that defense doesn't have to do all the work.
Absolutely. Back over to Ethan Knopf. Going to play back to the defense.
As you can see, Simon Zimmerman's dropped on the backside, which is good as a goalie.
Yeah, the Lancers have really pushed back to defend, leaving Drew Parisi up top. Cross in. It's cleared. Now
It's
we're on
now
the
a
attack.
4v4 situation we've got.
Let's see what we can do here. They need to push this counter before everyone gets back. Cross, but no one's there to pick it up.
Jack Slaughter needs to read that and make a run in the front player.
Yeah, especially since we know Northwest has height. And it would have been really hard to get the cross over to where Slaughter was. So making that cut inside is really important.
The run to the front post is the most important run to make as a player.
Especially because he's coming from behind. He can take him by surprise. It's a head up. And that's the end of the game. It's tied 2-2, so we're going to go into the first overtime, which is going to get interesting, especially since I believe we are on golden goal rule.
we are.
So that's going to mean that the first team to score in this overtime time is going to win the game. So really raises the stakes even higher. And you know, what do you think has to be the mindset going into this overtime, Maggie, for both teams?
Well, I think both teams have to play smart and know what their strengths are. With Northwest being down a player, they have to make sure that they're focusing on defense, but that they can play their key players up and those through balls that have been working all game. With the Lancers, they need to make sure that they're communicating in defense, because I think there's been a lack of that this game, which they definitely need to step up. But in that second half, what changed was that the Lancers were finding their midfield and being able to work the ball through the midfield to play from sideline to sideline, which opened up gaps in the Northwest defense. And that's what we need to find, is those gaps again.
Absolutely. You know, capitalizing off of that missing player from Northwest on the absence of Jackson Million. And I think we really started figuring that out later in the second half. With players like Kenny Nicholson and Sean Brooks taking the drive in the center and capitalize on it.
Yeah, they were definitely gaining space in the midfield for those players to take their space, but they also need to read when pressure is coming and release the ball at that time, because the players were getting caught a little bit, and then a lot of the midfield and forwards were up high and not back, which put the defense under pressure when Northwest won the ball back.
Right, and you can't afford any counterattacks in this overtime. I mean, that could be the end of the game for you. So it's going to be it's going to be an endurance test as well, just working the field back and forth. But yeah, I think when we figured out how to drive through the midfielders, it really threw off the Northwest defense because I think they're used to having a powerful, packed center mid. And when they didn't have that, they scrambled a little bit, and it allowed for us to find gaps. So I think if we can just really push that, we'll have more opportunities on goal.
We were also going forward with almost our entire team. Well, not our entire team, but a lot of the team, the midfielders were getting up into the attack, which was good when we were like attacking, but it also made a huge gap between the midfielders and the defense, which Northwest was able to capitalize on in their counterattack, which is what they look for, is to move the ball fast and attack with speed.
Absolutely, and that's when you need to communicate with your center mids there and figure out, okay, who's pushing up, who's going into the attack, and who's going to stay back and watch that center so that you don't get caught, and make your defense do all the work when they get back. So definitely some more communication there. Yeah, it should be very exciting.
I'm very excited.
As you can probably tell, we're on the edge of our seats with a lot of these plays. It's been very exciting. Great play from both teams tonight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is probably one of the best games I've watched in a while. The South game was very fun to watch, but this is way more intense and high energy.
And, both of these teams have had a great season. The Lancers only losing, I think, one game during regular season play, tying one game and winning the rest, around 10 games, I think, including tournaments. And then talking to some Blue Valley parents, I heard that this Blue Valley team played a really tough bracket this year, and played some really tough teams, and they worked hard this season and also had a really great season to be proud of. So I think no matter what, at the end of the day tonight, both teams should be going home proud of what they've done.
That's for sure.
And what they put out on the field tonight.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Start of the first overtime.
This is very exciting. Both bands.
Halloween showdown.
I forgot it's Halloween. Oh my gosh. Spooky.
It's hard to tell right now, but there's a really cool sunset that's orange, so definitely fitting the mood. And we're off. And
going with speed.
Both teams coming out quick here, marking really tight, 50-50 right now. They're going to call a foul. Quick cross over to Drew Coble, but we had quick pressure from Zimmerman.
Oh, and
who almost wins it, gets tripped up. No fouls called.
Needs to get back in the game. Not get caught up on.
You can't rely on the ref calling fouls. You have to keep going.
Yeah. Great win there by Joda. Marcial.
And they're going to call a foul.
Drew Parisi with a big smile on his face, knowing he worked for that foul.
He did a great job of cutting in and getting in front of the ball there. Looks like maybe Joe Vanderlyn over there on the left side is still scrambling to put on his shin guards. Might have been caught off guard there.
You have to stop.
And here he goes. He's gonna
for him to put on his shin guards. Let's get a nice zoom on that. All right.
We got, and it's a 10-minute overtime period, just so you know.
Golden goal, first goal wins. And
Definitely
after
state.
this, they'll go into a second 10-minute overtime. And then maybe 2 5 minutes?
As
2 5 minutes after that second 10-minute. It's a long time before they get to PKs. But
yes. And that is different from when you play a regular league game to when it's playoffs. Just for reference.
Don't
I'm not
know
sure what's happening.
what this stop is for.
Not really sure.
Looks like we lost a ball. Maybe someone's running to get it. Who's actually on our broadcast staff? Go, Caroline.
Maybe a ball was kicked over into the parking lot. We're
Yes,
not really
but it's
entirely sure.
weird because there's a ball in the ball boys'
Yeah, they have
hands right
plenty
there.
of balls on the field, so we're not exactly sure what's happening.
Nope.
Or maybe it's the car with the headlights on right now. I can't really tell.
Oh,
Nope.
no.
We're trying to figure it out, folks. We're not really sure, but Caroline's sprinting. And the crowd's cheering, so something must have happened.
Let me get the deets from my friend.
Oh, the crowd's booing again. I think it's someone's car lights, possibly. They're working on it, folks. Yeah, so far we've seen a pretty aggressive start to this overtime, which is what you want to see. You want to see both teams coming out to play. They got to be in the zone the whole time. And
all right, and we're off.
when you're in an overtime situation like this with golden goal, you cannot make any mistakes on defense. You cannot have any gaps, because that could be the end of the game in your season.
Great ball work there by the Lancers. Unlucky, though, with that ball through. Caught by the first defender.
Yep, and we're going to have a Northwest throw-in. Quick ball up from Northwest, and it's going to go out of bounds.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Kept
no, it's still
actually,
in.
From Jack Slaughter. Sean Brooks
with
taking a long
shot, and it's going to go way over the top. And again, he could take his space or cut back there. When you're in a golden goal situation, you can either play very aggressive and try to take any shots that you can, or you can try to get the perfect shot. It's either way. So I can see where he's going with that.
Yeah, not a bad idea by him, actually, taking a shot from out. Ooh, good ball in by Joda. Trying to find Jack Slaughter on the outside. Unlucky, though. The goalie caught that. But taking shots from out of the box is unexpected, and it gets the keeper off their line, which is what you want.
Absolutely, especially because keepers are going to be probably nervous right now.
Yeah, not expecting that shot.
Absolutely. Number 4 with the footwork, Will Vancrum.
Great ball, sliding it through two of the Lancer players. Oh, Simon Zimmerman's down. Looks like with a cramp, maybe?
Might be cramping, especially in this cold weather. It's not uncommon. He's pretty upset.
Yep, looks like a cramp.
He's going to be upset because this is a playoff game. I don't think he's happy.
Charlie horses. If this is a Charlie horse, those hurt. I feel bad.
And it's 38 degrees out here tonight. Feels like 34. And yeah, that is prime weather for cramping and
muscle pulling.
Yeah, it's not
Injuries.
a good situation. Injuries, yeah, you have to be very careful.
Coldness equals injuries.
And we could hear Simon yelling after that happened. He's not happy, especially he's a senior.
Interesting. Looks like it was his hamstring, maybe. But we have Byers Waldo in his position. Might be a quick
That's
sub back
unfortunate
in.
for Zimmerman if he's not able to play
Yeah.
the rest of this tournament.
Interesting choice to go there with the ball.
Might have been a courtesy throw back.
Oh, true. Great clear, though, by Peter.
Pressure, they're going to call it a Northwest throw.
Finding the ball into the center.
Another Northwest throw. Playing quick, moving around, trying to find an open pass. They choose to play down the line.
And Jodo Marcial wins it. Plays it back with high pressure by number 9 to Will with some more high pressure. Wow.
Ooh, he got lucky there, plays it up to Sean Brooks.
Long ball.
Direct. And he only had one player running on, but
Not a bad
Good
choice,
idea.
actually.
takes the pressure off the defense for a little bit.
If the forwards read that a little bit faster, they might have actually been able to get there before the goalie, or at least challenge the goalie a little bit more on that kick. But
Absolutely. Or they might have been able to play off of the wings,
yeah,
catch them off guard. Oh, miscommunication. Went past Nicholson there. They played direct, trying to get it to Dylan Colley. He's fighting. It's Luke Ratto. To Dylan Colley.
great win by the Lancers. Didn't foul there, which was a good thing, because that would have been a dangerous free kick to have right outside the box.
For sure. They did a great job of pulling back and marking tight on defense quickly.
I think both teams are really looking to play very direct to their key player, their forward.
Absolutely. It's at the top of the box, cleared by East.
East now needs to step out of the box fast to catch Northwest players offsides, or just to close the gaps, but the gap is left open and is taken.
Yeah, because then when you don't push up quickly, like we just saw there with number 5, Charlie Rotter, he was able to take his space and push it back into a defensive third. And Drew Parisi on the attack, and he can't get through.
Good
pressure.
run, or good shoulder-to-shoulder contact by number 7 on Drew, pushing him off the ball and not able to put a foot in against the goalie.
He really boxed him out, but good effort from Drew Parisi. He plays central, but it's cleared. Popped up high in the center. Sean Brooks gets a foot on it, but it's picked up by Dylan Colley. Gets through. Can he run onto it? Peter Corin rushing to block there in the corner.
Unlucky though by number 8. He loses it trying to do some skills around Peter.
I know, he's been such a driving force so far. Really bulldozing through the defense. It's been tough on the ball.
Dylan's really been doing a lot for this Northwest team. You can tell that they are trying to find him on that attack, because he is so good with his feet and getting around East players.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been able to get around 2, sometimes 3 players easily. And he's actually out there on this team with his brother, Chris Coley. Interesting fact for you guys. Drew Parisi checking back, but it's going to be headed out by Northwest.
He has to be careful there. They left a couple players open.
Play back to Lowry. Makes a great cross up to the feet. Nicholson, who gets through to Parisi.
On his own.
Gonna get his shot! Gets a shot! Yeah! And we win the regional championship!
Oh my gosh, that was so exciting. Hit that replay.
Let's watch that again in slow-mo.
Wow.
Beautiful goal.
That was, can we replay it again? We're gonna replay that again. Great composure by Drew Parisi, beating not only one, but 2 players, one being the goalie, with a nice cut to his right side and just putting it in the back of the goal.
And the Lancers win the regional championship, taking them one step further on their path to state.
Fantastic.
Great game from the boys tonight.
Great game by both teams. We
Absolutely.
really have to give it to this Northwest team, because
They gave such a fight in this game tonight. I mean,
especially playing with a player down, it looked
Absolutely.
like nothing changed for them, honestly. They really, wow,
they're a very skilled team, and they really brought it tonight. The Lancers pull out the goal in the first overtime from Drew Parisi.
Wow.
What a great and exciting game, guys. And yeah, we'll stay tuned to our social media to find out when we'll be broadcasting next for the next playoff game. And yeah, it's been a great time. This has been Lucia Barraza.
And Maggie Schutt.
We'll talk to you next time. Thank you and good night.
really, really well done. We're done. We're off the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the field
Turn that thing off
for the presentation of the Regional Championship Trophy to the Shawnee Mission East Lancers.
Actually, Noel, let's go back up. Go ahead and power up. Power up. See if you can get a shot.
The Lancers will advance to next week's sub-state quarterfinal. Good luck.